If you recall, the VAT quarter payment, which was due payable between April and June, is going to have to be paid in March of next year. That will mean 2 VAT payments in one quarter. And the first VAT quarter in particular may have been quite a profitable quarter before COVID. Equally, there are 2 self-assessment tax payments, the July and January payment due in January. At the same time, we're expecting to see rates reliefs for the hospitality sector. At least at the moment, they're due to be phased out on the 31st of March. And as much of the press has been stating recently, furlough claims are due to end on the 31st of October. Now, we've seen today with the Office for National Statistics that there's been an increase in unemployment, particularly amongst the young. But I do expect further increases in unemployment in the UK simply due to these the furlough reliefs being phased out. Equally, there are 2 other things people should be aware of. Many businesses have taken out a CBILS loan, which is a form of debt backed by the government from mainstream banks. But the first payment of those CBILS loans again falls next year. And the final piece is that businesses may have to incur costs for redundancies if they are going to go through some structuring. And equally, not many people in the last 6 months, maybe in August, have been on holiday. So how are businesses going to afford all of this? And so I do believe that if we can get through January to March 2021, then things should be a little bit brighter, simply because we've gone through the winter and we've got this period here. But I am concerned about this period, and it is something which we then need to look at the strategies which we can adopt to reduce our exposure here.
So a CVA is a compromise between a company and its creditors, and typically involves a rescheduling and or a reduction of its debts. It's implemented under the supervision of a qualified IP, insolvency practitioner, who supervises its procedure and implementation. It's binding on all unsecured creditors, providing that 75% by value vote in favour. It can't be used to compromise the rights of secured creditors, which is quite a big disadvantage of it, but it is suitable for companies with a significant amount of unsecured obligations, such as leases, supply contracts, and most commonly used for rent liabilities. HMRC is also open to entering into CVAs. As Adam and Andy mentioned, HMRC are always open to sensible proposals, and a CVA is a kind of a subset of one of those proposals that you might make if it needs the approval of other creditors to work. In terms of its advantages, it should result in a better return for creditors than a formal insolvency procedure, and likely to be received more favourably. The directors remain in control of the company, so the transition out of the CVA is likely to be smoother than from some insolvency process. Landlords may be in favour. Going to be hard times for landlords. They will be looking at all ways of maximising continuity of occupation. May also be good for suppliers, and I think this also goes to a point that Adam mentioned in terms of having to look at what your suppliers and your customers are also doing when making decisions.